There comes a moment in some long relationships when you look at the person beside you, someone you've shared decades of life with, and realize you barely recognize who they are anymore. You still know their face, their habits, their footsteps in the hallway. But something deeper has changed. The conversations feel shorter. The laughter has quieted. And there's a kind of distance, not across the room, but inside the heart, that feels impossible to reach across. If you felt this, you're not alone. Many people over 60 find themselves waking up next to someone who feels like a stranger. And it's not always about anger or arguments or something someone did wrong. Sometimes it's just that time has moved you both in different directions, and suddenly the closeness you once had feels far away. This isn't an easy thing to talk about. There's grief in it, confusion, maybe even guilt. But this space, this quiet place where love feels unfamiliar, deserves to be spoken about with honesty and care. In this video, we're going to gently explore what happens when your partner begins to feel distant after 60. We'll reflect, together, not to fix everything but to understand it, and maybe to find a little peace in the process. So please, stay with me. You don't have to figure this out alone. Let's walk through it, one quiet step at a time. When we think about love that lasts through the decades, we imagine it growing stronger, like a tree whose roots sink deeper into the earth with time. But what no one really tells us is that even the strongest trees can grow in different directions. The roots stay together, but the branches, they drift apart. After 60, many couples begin to feel that quiet drifting. Not because of anger or betrayal, but simply because life has shaped each of them in different ways. Maybe one of you has become more reflective, while the other turns inward. Maybe one seeks conversation, while the other seems more withdrawn. These changes often happen slowly, so quietly that they go unnoticed, until one day the distance between you feels undeniable. It's easy to wonder, is it me? Or, did we stop trying? But sometimes it's not about trying, it's about living. Years of raising children, working, facing health issues, or grieving losses, these things change people. They leave marks, and sometimes they leave us with fewer words to say, less energy to reach out, or a different sense of what matters most. There's no shame in noticing that your partner feels different, because in truth, they probably are. And you are too. We're all still growing, even in our later years. And growth doesn't always happen in the same direction. The key truth is this: distance in a relationship isn't always a sign of failure. Sometimes it's a quiet reminder that people are constantly becoming, and even the people we love the most will change in ways we didn't expect. But that doesn't mean the connection is lost. It just means we may have to meet them where they are now, not where they were 20 years ago. And sometimes, that starts with acceptance. What makes this kind of distance so painful is that it isn't always loud. It doesn't show up as shouting or slammed doors. It's quiet. A silence that grows slowly between two people who once knew each other's thoughts before they were spoken. There's a name for this feeling. It's called ambiguous loss. It means grieving someone who is still physically present but emotionally or mentally different. Maybe your partner has become more forgetful, or emotionally distant, or less affectionate. They're still in the house, still sitting beside you, but something essential feels gone. This kind of loss doesn't come with sympathy cards or casseroles. It comes with quiet dinners, missed eye contact, and a deep sense of loneliness that's hard to explain. And yet it's real, it's valid, and it deserves to be felt. You might feel sadness, frustration, even guilt. You might miss the way they used to smile at you, or the way you used to laugh together in the car, and as much as you want to reach back to who they were, they just aren't that person anymore. But here's something gentle to hold on to. It's okay to mourn someone who's still here. It's not disloyal. It's not selfish. It's human. Love carries grief sometimes, and loving someone now as they are doesn't mean forgetting who they were. Maybe the question isn't, how do I get them back? Maybe the better question is, How do I love them now? Not with the same rhythm, but with the same heart. It can help to look gently at the reasons behind these changes, especially when they feel sudden or confusing. Aging often brings hidden struggles to the surface. Physical pain, memory loss, chronic fatigue, or even medications can shift someone's mood or personality. Sometimes the distance you feel isn't emotional at all, it's biological. Depression, dementia, or even something as simple as hearing loss can create walls where none were meant to be. If your partner seems quieter, more irritable, or detached, it's worth exploring those changes with a doctor. You don't have to carry the uncertainty alone, and relationally, expectations may need to shift. The deep conversations you once shared might now be replaced with simple routines: a walk around the block, a quiet cup of tea, a moment of eye contact while folding laundry. These moments may not feel big, but they are bridges. Small ways of saying, "I still see you." Try not to measure love by how it used to look. A partner who holds your hand in silence may be saying as much as they once did with words. And even if they don't respond like they used to, your efforts still matter. Your presence still matters. End you. This season, connection may be less about fixing and more about witnessing, not trying to change them, but simply being with them, letting them be who they are now, while still showing up with kindness. It may be a softer kind of love, but it's still love. When we love someone through change, and especially when that change brings distance or silence, it can become a kind of spiritual practice. A quiet daily act of grace. Think of it like tending an old garden. The flowers may not bloom like they once did. Some have faded, some return in unexpected ways. But you still water the soil. You still pull the weeds. You still care, even when the beauty looks different. There's deep courage in continuing to love someone who no longer reflects the same version of themselves. It asks for patience, for faith, for a heart that can honor the past while still holding space for what is. And in that, there's a kind of peace, even if it's a tender one. You are not failing because things have changed. You are not doing something wrong because it feels harder now. Sometimes this is simply what love looks like after a lifetime. Not grand gestures, but quiet loyalty. Not perfect understanding, but quiet presence. And when it feels like too much, don't be afraid to lean on others. A trusted friend, a support group, a faith practice. You were never meant to carry this weight all alone, even in the silence. You are still doing something sacred. So where does that leave you now? It leaves you in a place of deep reflection, not of blame, but of gentleness. Of honoring the life you've built, even if some parts now feel uncertain or unfamiliar. Maybe you're grieving the conversations you used to have, the laughs, the little rituals, the simple moments that used to connect you. That grief is real, and it deserves tenderness. But alongside the grief, there is still life. Still small chances to connect. Still quiet mornings to share a cup of coffee. Still soft glances across the room. Still time to be kind, even when words fall short. Remember, you are not alone in this. Many others are quietly walking this same path, wondering if anyone understands. You are seen. You are valued. And your love, even in this complicated season, still matters. So take a deep breath. Let yourself feel whatever you need to feel. There's no right way to move through this. Only your way, taken one step at a time. And as you walk it, may you carry this truth gently in your heart. Even if they don't say it, even if they can't show it, your love is still felt and it still matters.